I don't even know where to begin, Leslie. So much has happened.
All right. Well, I did speak to Eve.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Well, I
And
tried calling all of you, but none was available, so I called Eve. And she told me she was suspended. And she told me, what else? She told me that there was a terrorist. She told me that a terrorist tried to assassinate you and destroy the city. And she told me that she got too close with this terrorist and that you suspended her. And I asked her why she isn't working. And she said she would work if she could, but she's suspended. And I said that's a waste of time. She should be working.
you didn't unsuspend her, did you, Leslie?
Of course not.
All right, thank you.
I probably should have, but I didn't.
What do you mean you probably should have?
Well, if she's not working, then we're not making money, are we?
Of course we are.
How?
Well, we have a lot of ways that we make money, Leslie. A lot.
Okay. Isn't Eve the person that does everything still?
Yes.
Okay, who pays the paychecks?
Well, our accountant, but he's dead.
Okay, so who pays the paychecks now in his absence?
I don't know. I think Harry does.
Is that something that maybe, I don't know, Eve would keep track of?
It don't matter, Leslie.
Okay.
Don't start fucking pissing me off, Leslie, on your first day back. Tell him, Harry. Tell him everything, Harry.
Oh. I don't know where to begin, quite frankly. Honestly, Eve is lucky she ain't 10 inches.
Yeah.
10 inches into what?
The ground.
That's like nothing, though, isn't it?
Well, that's what Speedy says all the
It's
time.
10 inches.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Speedy understands the American, like.
What do you mean?
talent
You're going to
system.
bury somebody 10 inches? It sounds threatening enough.
Okay, all right. I say okay. So okay, why?
Okay, we have a bit. So here's if you want me to sum it up, here's what's happened, Leslie. Is that I fucked off. There's no Dean. You fucked off. Lang was left, by himself with Nancy and Eve, and they, they kept him sane. They kept everything from crumbling. But along with that, Leslie, what happened is they know that they're irreplaceable, untouchable, and they can get away with goddamn anything. So Eve
No, that's
decides she wants to-
irreplaceable.
Well, listen. I don't know how to explain this, but like when yesterday when we suspended Eve, she said no, like as in like you can't do that.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
not good.
So
Yeah.
there's a bit of like in my opinion, like, I mean, I have no respect. No one respects me. And quite frankly, I don't really blame him because I haven't really been around and I lash out a lot. But,
Yeah.
Eve, she fell in love with one of the Simones. She knew that they tried to kill Lang, and she kept, she kept pursuing that.
Not only kill
Even
me,
after
they've
she
been
was
tempted
warned.
countless times to take the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
What is the saying? They hate us because
Wait, hold on. Simone's? Why don't we just fire him? Is there two?
Fire from what?
He works for us, Michael, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean he works for us?
Yeah, with the billboard stuff. He's the guy that does.
Oh
the
no, we already
posters.
own that.
So you're telling me the poster guy is a terrorist?
Yeah. Well,
Uh huh.
they say they're terrorists, but all they really do is torment a woman and then blow. I mean, they blow shit up, but I don't really call them terrorists.
Mm-hmm. Well, they would be terrorists by definition, I think.
By definition, yeah, but like it's I feel like that's like a scary word. You know what I mean? These guys aren't scary.
Okay.
They're chihuahuas.
Okay, so why are they a problem? then?
They're trying
Well,
to run for
because
mayor.
Eve is in love with one. My son is a disciple of the other. Nancy was best friends with both of them. And when it came down to picking sides, a lot of people skirted the line and didn't pick a side. And naturally, things descended into chaos.
Okay. Oh, when I assume you at some point asked Eve to do that?
Yes, 2 days ago.
And what did she say?
She said she picked our side, but immediately after the meeting was over, she called Nick. Nick didn't answer, so we have no idea what she intended to say. And then
Is Nick
threw-
the other Simone?
yeah, the one she's in love with.
Okay.
Yeah. And then threw her phone away and avoided us all day yesterday. And when we finally found her, she claimed that it was her day off. But Eve has never done that. Due to
Okay.
her not having a phone, we thought she was either kidnapped, missing, or flipped on us. Naturally, when we went looking, and things got real fucking crazy. I nearly lost my mayorship last night.
Oh, yeah, I heard you're in mayor now. Congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah, and then when we finally confronted her, she tried to claim that it was her day off and that she let Fiona know to tell us. But then I called her out and I said, Eve, you're very intelligent. Okay. You are always direct. You always communicate with me. You always let me know everything. Could have sent a message and said, need a break. Yesterday was overwhelming. I'll come back when I'm ready. Instead, you intentionally sent us on a wild goose chase to find you. And when we did, this is the excuse you give. We're not buying it.
She was playing games. It's very obvious.
Yeah, she was playing games. It was very obvious.
Acting kind of innocent and like trying to guilt trip us. And, you know, even Nancy say,
Listen,
"Oh,
even Nancy know that they're my major blind spots. I fold like a fucking lawn chair at every opportunity for them.
Yeah, this is the problem because I wasn't around for a while. You weren't around, Leslie, and Dean wasn't either. So
naturally, she tried to get me to fold like a goddamn lawn chair, but this time I had the fucking wall with me. And he shielded me from all of that, and we did not fold, and we stuck to our guns. Ain't that right, Harry?
Who's the
that's
wall?
me, Leslie. I'm the
That's
fucking
you.
wall.
You're the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Or Harry,
crumble.
sorry.
I
He's the wall.
stand
He doesn't
strong.
crumble.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm indestructible.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
But on top of that, then afterwards, we had a big conversation. Then I think what I thought me and Harry did was make it very clear that we can't have anybody at this level within the company, within the family, being this close with the Simones. It's too much of a risk, right? Then we leave, and then Bjorn calls me and is like, listen, Eve is telling Lando how her relationship with Nick is like Romeo and Juliet. And listen, I haven't read a lot of books, but I've read that book. So that really pissed me the fuck off. So then we go back up to the ranch, and I tell Eve to hand in her necklace. And she refused, trying to get me to fold again. And when she saw I stood tall behind the wall, the necklace around my neck right now, I made one for her, I made one for Nancy, yeah. And then I stood behind my wall. I did not fold, and I demanded for the necklace back. And then she finally gave it back, and I suspended her for trying to deny that.
And your worry is what now? Your worry is that you don't trust her?
I don't trust her. I feel like things are going to be different. It's like we made it clear so many times. Listen, these guys are bad. They try to kill me. They try to go after my son. Just stay away from them. And they would tell us, yes, they have no part in it, or Eve in particular, where I'm staying out of it. I'm not involved, but then it's very actively involved in this whole love fucking song and dance with one of them.
Leslie, yesterday the Simones, they blew up the Hydra compound. It's like this big fuck off apartment. Like, listen, I don't know Hydra like that. I don't really care. But honestly, you want my opinion? I think our building could be next. Maybe Rooster's Rest. I don't fucking know. These guys blowing up fucking everything. And we
Okay.
got people that are like friends with these guys. And it's like, wake the fuck up, Sunshine. What are you doing?
Mhm.
They're getting in everyone's pocket trying to run for mayor. And we haven't filled you in on a lot of stuff, but
Why don't you
very
just bait them
important.
to plant a bomb somewhere and catch them do it?
because they're actually pretty. I'm not sure about Nick or Michael, but one of them is pretty smart. They it's not that easy. They're not actually that fucking dumb.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a lot of things here. You need to section these things because if you attack all of these problems at once, then you will solve none.
You want to know the problem? You want to know the problem? You want to know the real problem?
Mhm.
Is remember, Leslie, when we first started Cerberus, we emphasized the structure, people not bitching and moaning when they're not involved in a meeting or what meeting they're involved in, what they know, what they don't know. Remember when that was like a problem coming out of the woodworks?
I know what you're going to say, and I think what I was going to say is from what you're telling me, it sounds like the issue is that with Dean and I being absent, then you grew closer to Nancy and Eve, so the relationship of working under you is not there as much anymore.
Yeah, they're
And
my
that's
equals.
why they don't
Yeah,
respect you as much in that sense.
yeah, they're definitely my equals now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I
Well-
can't. I don't even feel comfortable making them realize they're not. I just feel uncomfortable doing that.
Okay. Well, then maybe you have to accept that for what it is, if that truly is the case. If you look at it this way, let's say you, me, and Dean were standing here, and obviously the tail, Harry, or the wall, or whatever. All right. It would not have been impossible for us to get into a conundrum like this. So how would you have solved the conundrum if it was between me and Dean and you?
It was between you, me, and Dean, and Leslie was in love with a man or a woman trying to kill me. I would have made you kill that woman in front of me, or man.
Okay, but you know I wouldn't have done that.
But I mean, the answer is you would have got outvoted, Leslie, by Lang and Dean. We used to
True,
do it like
yeah,
that. Remember?
true.
We had like
Yeah.
You don't do that anymore?
No, because
Well-
it's only been me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, until
Yeah, I
very
guess that
recently,
does
Harry
make
has
sense.
been back now. So it's, we've been trying to tackle.
Yeah.
Since Harry's been back, we've been trying to tighten the screws and get shit back where they're
Yeah.
at. But then things kind of just blew up in our face.
Well, the issue for me here is I guess I'm starting to understand the structure, but before I can give you any advice, I would have to consume more information. I'm like a big sponge. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, like, the
I
fact of
can't
the
give
matter,
you-
the fact of the matter is, okay, it's a very hard conversation to have with two people who I find very near and dear to me, who I love with all my heart, but I understand they are my blind spots and sometimes take advantage of.
Okay. So, what would require from Eve for you to feel like you're okay in this situation?
To kill Nicholas Simone in front of me.
Okay. See, I think for most people that would make sense, but isn't that a bit out of character for Eve to do? Like kill anyone in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I want her to do it. There's something she would never do. Listen, I made the entire
Right.
guild kill their best friend, Jon Snow style, stabbed them one at a time, one by one in front of me to prove their loyalty.
Okay, but the last time I met a member of the guild, he was in your tower cooking meth in his underwear.
Yeah, I mean, that's what loyalty gets you.
Well, I don't know if you want Eve to end up in that situation. My point
Yeah,
is,
but Leslie, I don't know what to
think
do.
you
What do
need
I do, Leslie? What do I do?
Well, when I called Eve, she told me that, well, I asked her, she explained the situation to me, and I asked her, who she think did anything wrong in the situation, and she said she was the one that committed fault. And I think that she knows. I think the problem is that Eve is a very emotional person, and you need to.
Yeah, but she's known the whole time, Leslie. That's the thing. This is not like a new thing that came out of
Well-
nowhere. Like, oh, now I'm doing something. I've been preaching this for weeks, Leslie. And like I said, it was lucky.
One exactly.
The Simones are a problem. Listen, I've been the mayor now, right? Trying to protect the city and all. So I've been actively plotting against all the Simone's plans, very openly to Eve and Nancy for weeks. Okay. And I've made it very clear for weeks that these people are the enemy right now. And they were just lucky it never came to a boiling point. And it finally hit that boiling point a couple of days ago. And that's why me and Harry approached Nancy and Eve, and we're like, listen, we don't want to do this. We've never really done this to anybody. But it's gotten to a point where you guys just have to pick a side right now. And then that's where things spiraled out of control. Like, so this wasn't new information for them. They see the hate and the demise I have for the Simones, and for all the attempts they've tried on my businesses, on my life, on my son's life, on everything. They've seen that. They've witnessed all that.
Right. And her not taking a side was her calling Nicholas and then throwing away her phone?
Her not taking a side is taking a side. Because I have the text saved somewhere, but I can bring them up later. But I went crazy yesterday, as I normally do when things really push me to the edge. And I hunted down Nicholas Simone, put him at gunpoint, went through his phone, and took a bunch of messages from a bunch of different people. One of them happened to be Eve. And these messages, now Eve, when we confronted her, not confronted her, but when we, pretty much asked her to be open, pick a side, all that, she said, you guys can go through my phone if you want. Now, after reading those messages, I feel like she said that only because if we ever ended up getting those messages, she wouldn't have looked good. Now, I could be looking too deep into this, but I feel like she said that so she would have the excuse to be like, well, I said you guys can go through my phone. Like, I got nothing to hide. When in reality, those messages don't look good at all. It was essentially saying, like, she valued the guy a lot. She didn't want the relationship to end. And this is actively while all this shit is going on. This is actively
You talked to her about that?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
We talked to her about all this yesterday, and then we left. And then Bjorn calls me, and he's like, oh, Eve is talking to Lando about how her relationship with Nicholas Simone is like Romeo and Juliet. And I was like, what the fuck? Is she still thinking about having a life with this fucking guy after all that's happened today?
Well, I don't. Could it possibly? Could she possibly have meant that she understands that they can't be together, and it's just that simple?
Yes, but I don't think you would use the story of Romeo and Juliet to say that.
Well, I think
Romeo and Juliet wanted to see each other. They wanted to be together. They attempted to do that.
Okay, but there was also another message that said, hopefully we kind of cross paths again in the future, and we'll separate business from our relationship. Isn't that right, Lang? Something like that?
Yeah.
Which is like intending that in the future, this is going to happen again.
Yeah. And love is bad for business. All right?
It is. I agree, of course. But from what you're telling me, it sounds more like she's realized that.
Yeah, but
and I understand that's not the answer you want to hear, but
no, it's fine if she's realized and accepted that. If she told the guild, listen, I can't be with Nicholas Simone anymore, it sucks, but it is what it is, versus, oh, we're Romeo and Juliet, like it's just different to me. Maybe I could be reading too much into it. I get that.
But Romeo and Juliet is a story that somebody would reference if they have a lack of romantic literature in their library.
They would also reference if they would be willing to die to be with that person. You know what that takes to be with the person you love.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but I think maybe the implication is more about forbidden love and full stop. Maybe
I don't know. I feel like the implication more is like I want to die. I would die to be with this guy.
Listen, there's something else that happened as well, Leslie. Right? Lang was shot at the hospital while in his fucking armored car.
They plotted. They tried to assassinate me. Nicholas Simone was there.
She was sitting next to him.
Yeah.
So this is days ago, right? So the guy that she's in love with, says, yeah, take out Lang. She's sitting beside him in the car, and yet after all that, she still didn't open her eyes. And listen, I know you're trying to be like reasonable here, Leslie. And listen, I'm trying to be reasonable too. But me and Lang both know that I'm not sure if it's ever going to be the same again, because we've been completely blindsided by this. And it's like, I don't know a person in their right mind could, how am I supposed to trust this person again? I feel like the trust has been completely fucking stomped on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of this is just common sense, at least to me and Lang. It's just the way
I
we
mean,
work.
listen, if I watched my lover try to kill you in my car while I'm sitting next to you, why the fuck would I ever associate myself with that person ever again?
The thing is, people are different. And I think that Eve is one of those people that when they fall in love, they don't think rationally. So you should not try to put logic in this. It's
True. I mean,
loophole.
that I
That's
can
fair.
agree with. That's fair. That's definitely fair. But then it's like, then it just goes back to like, what do you do then?
Well, I think on it, this is again probably not an answer you want, and it's a boring answer, but somebody like Eve in a position that she's in needs time, and the way I know Eve, I would have a very difficult time seeing that she wouldn't choose your side ultimately, and I understand that's a risk that you maybe don't want to take, but if you wager the options here, having Eve is always a better option than not having Eve.
I agree. I don't disagree with that. I agree 100%.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things that would have made my life easier if I chose to have it, but I got rid of it based on principle. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I've had a lot of moments like that in my life. But it's just, and I'm not even entertaining the fact of getting rid of Eve. What I'm entertaining right now is how do I make this different work? Because it's different
Right.
now. It's not the same anymore. How can I make it
What
work?
if I invite Eve to my tower and have a conversation with her, just
Oh.
you and me, but you guys are hiding in my secret lair?
Let's do that. But first, what I want you to do is actually talk to Nancy, get her side of the story, her version of how things went down, because our side could be very skewed, and it's our only opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk
I
to
think
her.
it is. I think while Eve is emotional, you guys are both being very emotional about this, even though you might not think it. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I want you to talk to Nancy with me and Harry not here, and then we all talk
Okay.
and see where we go. All right?
Okay.
I'm gonna bring her in. Come on, Harry.